Let's begin with an introduction to the system and its setup. Here are the key details for this case study. The location we are analyzing is McDonald's's, situated at shop number 111, 112 and 113 Jalan Siar Ayam, Bandar Seberang in Segamat, Johor. This particular branch serves as the focus of our observation. The operating hours for this McDonald's branch are from 7 am to 2 am, providing services nearly around the clock. For this study, we conducted our observation from 8:40 pm to 9:40 pm. This time frame allowed us to analyze the customer flow during the specific period. Lastly, the branch operates with 3 servers during this time. This information is crucial for evaluating the system efficiency and capacity. I will be discussing the arrival characteristics, which are key factors in analyzing customer behavior and service system, particularly in this scenario involving McDonald's customer. The first characteristic we look at is the size of the calling population. In this case, it is considered infinite. This means that the number of potential McDonald's customers seeking service is so large that it is virtually unlimited. This assumption simplifies our analysis by evaluating the impact of a finite customer pool on arrival rates. Next is the pattern of arrivals at the system. Here we observe that the arrival follows a Poisson distribution with an average arrival rate of 41 customers per hour. This type of distribution is common in service system and implies that arrivals are random but follow a predictable average over time. Finally, let's discuss the behavior of the arrival. In this case, customers are categorized as patient. This means that clients remain calm and wait in the queue until it's their turn to receive service. This behavior is critical for maintaining the system's flow and ensuring effective queue management. Moving on to the next key element of the service system, I will be discussing the waiting line characteristic. This includes 2 important factors, which is the length of the line and the queue discipline. The first characteristic is the length of the line. In this case, the queue length is unlimited, meaning there is no maximum or minimum number of clients who can wait. This setup ensures that McDonald's customer can stay in line regardless of how long it gets, accommodating high demand periods effectively. The second characteristic is the queue discipline, which follows the first in, first out or FIFO rule. This means that the customer who arrive first at the counter or in the queue are served first. It's a fair and efficient way to handle customer flow and maintain order.
Okay, next, I will explain about service facility characteristics. Firstly, the service system configuration of McDonald's has multi-channel system, which means it has 3 servers. Second, the service is a single-phase system, which means that the customer will be served at only one counter to make payments for their purchase of their foods. Third, the number of waiting lines is multiple lines, as each of the server will have a line.
The assumption for the pattern of service time follows the exponential distribution, where the service rate mu is equal to 27. This means the system can serve an average of 27 customers per hour. To calculate the average service time per customer, we divide 60 minutes by the service rate of 27 customers, resulting that the server took an average of 2.22 minutes per customer in 1 hour. For the basic queuing configuration, we can indicate that McDonald's has a multi-server, multi-line and single-phase queuing system. Based on the diagram, customers will arrive and queue in line at the self-service kiosks to place their orders at McDonald's. The kiosks act as the service facility, which allowing customers to independently complete their transactions. After completing their orders, customers proceed to designated pickup area to collect their food and then exit the McDonald's outlet.
So let's move on to next chapter, which is 2.4, operating characteristic. So here is the data that we get from our research in McDonald'S Segamat. So McDonald's Segamat have 3 counter that has been operated there. Next, for queuing model, so we need to find the value of lambda, mu, and s from our research. So for lambda, we need to determine the number of customer per hour from our research. So we get lambda equals to 41. So for mu, we need to divide 60 with average service time in minutes to get the lambda. So from the research, we get the average service time in minutes, which is 2.1829, and we divide 60 with 2.1829 and we get lambda equals to 27. So for S, we get 3 since the counter for our research place is 3. So for the calculation, so firstly we need to find the row first. So the row is the probability that the service facility is being used. So the formula of row is lambda divided by S multiplied by mu. So we must key in the value that we get, and we get row equals to 0.5062. So next we move on to the second calculation, which is P0. That is the probability that no customer in the system. So this is the formula for P0, and we need to key in the value that we get before. So we get P0 equals to 0.189669. So we move on to the next calculation, which is we need to find the average number of customer in the queue, or we can say it as LQ. So the formula of LQ is rho multiplied by lambda over mu power of L multiplied by P0 divided by S factorial multiplied by 1 minus rho the power of 2. So we should key in all the value that we get, and finally we get LQ equals to 0.2264. So the value is approximate to 0 customer per hour. So for the next calculation, we need to find the average of customer or unit in the system, L, that is the number in line plus the number being served. So for the formula of L, which is LQ plus lambda over mu, so we key in all the value that we get before. So we get L equals to 1.7449, or approximate to 1 customer per hour. So for the next calculation, we need to find the average time customer spend in the system, W, that is the time spent in line plus the time spent being served. So for the formula of W, which is L over lambda, so we key in the value and we get W equals to 0.0426 hour or 2.6 minutes. So for the last calculation, we need to find the average time a customer spend waiting in the queue, which is WQ. So for the formula of WQ equals to LQ over lambda. So we key in all the value and we get WQ equals to 0.0055 hour or 0.33 minutes.
So for QM for Windows, based on the video in the previous slide, we know the first step is to choose waiting line, and we expand the waiting line and we choose M/M/S. And after that, we just make sure the cost analysis is no cost, and we need to click OK, and we need to put the lambda, mu and our server. So from the video, our lambda is 41 and our mu is 27 and our server is 3. And after that, we just need to click solve, and the the QR for Windows will display the result. So for the conclusion, to conclude this, the customers are happy with the waiting time to be served because they did not have to wait in a long time, and this server provided are enough to serve a lot of customers. Thank you.